physical damage with entirely skipping mobility tools.
And that was, in that game he dealt ridiculous damage, but now you also have a Vengeful Aura, and you have Inner Beast, which doesn't really matter for focus fire, but in between is kind of nice. So
yeah, they've got great lockdown as well. Beastmaster, Venge, Leshrac. May still go. I think Blink's still viable.
It's going to be a 2-1-2, and it's not going to be Sumail and Beastmaster though. But they're going to run what looked like the strongest lanes as far as the heroes go, and they do it by swapping Sumail into the off lane. And I think these lanes look very solid for EG here.
I like that they're willing to change up the lanes and not just be one-dimensional, where Sumail's always going mid. It just gives you that bit of flexibility within your team.
Comparing it to the old EG, like Arteezy was mid pretty much every game. I'm hard-pressed to recall a time where he wasn't. And almost always on very similar heroes, those more carry-oriented mids. So, as you mentioned, it is a departure from the old EG.
Okay.
That is an interesting step.
Games where both teams produce Radiant or first pick.
Okay. I guess first pick is the one that was chosen most, or was it Radiant? They didn't say that there.
It's early in the morning, and I was still like trying to figure out what that said. That's why I was like silent for a minute for me.
That one wasn't really rockets.
I'm just like thinking. I'm like, wait, what? Huh?
Wait, who got? They got both runes or one each? One each. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a bottle for Chrissy. Already moving out the Courier. Classic start for Wisp. Get the bounty rune and take the bottle.
Did they break down the trees? Did we see?
It's the Radiant side. No.
No.
Can't get that double pull off. At least not right now. But that bottle coming out. So Universe going to get somewhat zoned out here, but he should at least be able to leech experience in the mid lane. He got a bounty room, which also really helps him out. It's going to be a similar kind of approach to Magnus. Just sit back, spam your axes in this case, and
Beastmaster's pretty tanky again, so I think this is where you need to be breaking those trees and focusing more on your economy.
So both teams kind of rank 2-on-2s. Wisp is going for a Courier Snipe mid.
Might actually get it too. Yeah, this is not something you're going to expect as the mid Beastmaster. Chrissy,
Dyer's
2 Courier Snipes, 2 games in a row for this guy. My.
Did he?
Wait, how did he even get in there when they have the lane
He didn't have a smoke. He
they
just
have
walked
a
past
ward.
the ward.
Yeah.
He actually just ran up there. That's just an oversight on Universe's part. He actually did have a chance to see that.
Yeah. And even if he just sees the Wisp missing, it's not like Wisp is getting a rune or stacking. You look at the timer.
It's the 1 minute mark.
Yeah, it's 1 minute into the game. He's not stacking. He's not getting a rune. What else is he doing?
That's one of those things that might not have happened if it was Sumail mid. Because
Exactly.
he's just used to these tricks. And Universe, how often does he play mid? Never. So.
Oh yeah, Courier Snipes, all the mid players look out for. Those are games where Bounty Hunter was picked yesterday, and the mid hero, it was Fata playing. He camped the Courier with his bottle at his tier 3 tower and waited until he had to go. It was Dragonite. Waited until he walked back to his tier 2 tower and like met it halfway between the tier 2 and tier 3. Mid players just like do not let their Courier get sniped at all. They're always watching out for it.
We're saying that after Sumail did get it sniped last game, but that was less.
That was a very unusual situation.
That was not really a Courier snipe. That was more like a miss micro kind of thing. Like, that wasn't like the sneaky like let's go between the tower.
Rhino charging onto PPD. They tried to finish up the cow, but he has backup from Chrissy, making plays all over the map for his team. If they get a bash here, this could be the death of fear. Orbs coming in, one more auto attack. That's all they need. They get him too. Rave. Courier snipe, 2 kills.
Choo-choo. Right.
A way to start.
It's same as last game though. They've got to transition to the mid game off of this, which is where they prove to not sometimes even struggle, I would say.
Oh, Ninja Boogie. Gotta be a little careful here. That Beastmaster can turn this with the board pretty easily. Low in mana right now. That's actually the main issue. He may just have to kind of wait for the Courier to respawn and pray for a lucky rune of some kind.
So
But
this time around,
minutes
Ninja
ago.
Boogie on the Tiny. Last game it was Jo. They're really swapping things up.
And this is a nice thing about Rave's draft this time around compared to last game. Last game they had an offlane Night Stalker who does pretty well together with Wisp, but it's not Spirit Breaker tier. Those 2 heroes together is actually a disgustingly strong, just regular dual lane offlane to run. And having the option of just rotating Wisp up there and making that play is very important. And yeah, they're looking good so far. The Razor is getting shut down fairly well here by EG, but Big Farmer by quite a margin so far is going to be in the mid lane. Ninja Boogie's Tiny.
Well, Courier did respawn now, so Universe will have an easier lane moving forward. It'll come out and deliver some items to him. They are going to try to make a go on Sumail a bit. Starting to steal damage, but tries to walk away. Tombstone getting dropped. Jo will need to back off. May need to turn to kill a zombie or two as they claw their way in. Sumail trying to engage on a cast who is a bit squishy to all that auto attack damage. But that's where it'll end. Well, Tombstone now on cooldown, so Rave can breathe a little easier.
I'm going to ping out the regen rune, but they're not going to get it. Universe will get this rune. Not using it yet. Going for the max summon build.
Seems like the build.
Yeah, it's
don't really see the aura build anymore.
It's the one used the most. As long as he can get last hits with level 1 axes, I think it's probably going to be more valuable.
What are you thinking here for Rave, guys? Should they be looking to move the Spirit Breaker around, go for some kills elsewhere? Are you content just sitting him top lane?
I think he's pretty good top lane. He just annoys the Venge. He forces the Venge to stay a bit there. And there's always that threat of, like, you get a bash or something, you rotate someone like Chrissy in, as we saw earlier, and you get kills again off of your lane.
Yeah, definitely feels like EG are going to be more reluctant to dive him after the way the last attempt went.
The other option is you can, like, charge mid or something. Oh, there we go. He's charging mid. Universe, the one very vulnerable hero on the map.
Not even required. Tombstone has cooldown and will be deployed as Rave just scurry away. DPD trying to engage here. Turns back to hit a zombie. Tether still going through. I was thinking, well, it'd be nice to kill Beastmaster before he hit 6, but they didn't even need the Spirit Breaker. They just get it done with Tiny Wisp. Really nice start here for Rave. They are getting out farmed pretty heavily, though. Looking at the CS charts for EG, this dual lane bottom has done a lot of early work.
Yeah, Jo is not having a good time.
But again, aggression. Fear will be the one that falls. Rave, man, they are moving around beautifully, and this does kind of flash you back to when they were having a lot of success at DAC, where they were aggressive early, they would dominate the lanes, find those early pickoffs, and just look to snowball before their opponents.
The IO having such an early earn as well really helps. That's extra damage when you go for kills, the heals which can heal up 2 heroes with a tether. That is just really nice to get those early kills mid lane to help Wisp get up to that level of farm.
I mean, we talked about in the pregame that Chrissy's individual play was one of the keys for them back when they were having a lot of success, and we were looking for it on a core, but he's doing it on the support with 2 courier snipes, multiple kills, early level 6 coming out. He is scouted here by Lane Ward, though. Much needed for EG to avoid getting picked off or punished.
Do you think Rave are just okay kind of sacking their Razor as they're doing for now, Sind, or do they need to kind of give him some protection?
How can you adjust the lanes to get him a better start?
Yeah, you could, I mean, you could rotate the Wisp down there to protect, but I think that's a waste. Right?
They're trying to make it go on top, it looks like, with the charge from Ryo. They get the initiation onto Fear, Nether Strike follow. He survives for now. Ryo gets roared under tower. Good stun coming out from Cash, but a better counter-initiating Shackle. The entire EG team into the top lane. Well, Rave didn't see that one coming, that's for damn sure.
That feels like the fight from last game that happened in the bottom lane, where it turns everything around, which is the worry. Rave have to settle down after that. They still have, I would say, a slight early game lead here, and
it was a gigantic rotation by EG. You maybe expect 1-2 TPs, but I think that was, what, a triple TP coming to the top lane? That caught them a bit off guard.
Damn, Secret kill a lot of couriers.
That's actually crazy.
Wow. They have almost...
Oh, nice Shackle.
Boogie getting caught out here. It's not a highly leveled Shackle, though. Tosses out the Avalanche, continues to retreat. Sumail engaging, can't finish him.
They need to get something out of this line. It was a very nice spike top, but it was too late. He's level 3 minute 8 in this dual lane. He didn't really provide Razor with much of a laning stage anyway. He's currently lowest net worth. They need to get, like, even if it's just 1 kill that Lion helps out with, it's going to help himself so much to get involved.
Is under attack.
And maybe that's also going to be the key to getting Razor back in the game. Instead of just statically staying in a lane that you're losing, make space, go somewhere else, gank there, force the rotation from either the Undying or the Windranger, and suddenly Razor has the lane for a minute to get maybe 10 CS or something like that.
Yeah, he's getting a little more now in this bottom lane.
Yeah, and that's what ended up happening ultimately, right? It wasn't because... Well, it kind of was Lion's rotation, because I guess he was a part of the gank top. They did pay for it. But yeah.
Let's see here. Rave. Last game we saw the drums build from the Tiny, then into the Blink. And it looks like for now he's going to hang on to his gold, Ninja Boogie. He almost has the drums gold if that's what he wants. I feel like the early Blink could be very devastating here.
I agree.
Especially at the Spirit Breaker. You mentioned the Night Stalker last game is the big hero to set him up, and this time around he's got someone who's similarly effective in the early to mid game.
Just a relatively squishy EG lineup. A carry Leshrac, you've got a Wind Ranger, and easy squishy support in the Vengeful Spear. I guess the Beastmaster and Dying a little bit tankier, but once you get your level 9 combo, that's where Tiny can just find
tough,
kills on most
It is a little tough to go on EG, though. They're very good at counter ganking. They already have Swap online. Tombstone is just devastating if you overextend, and there's a lot of ways to cancel the charge. The Venge stun, the Shackle, the Roar, maybe the Lesh stun if you have some vision of him coming in. I feel like it's Rave on paper, great ganking lineup, but in practice, they really need that Tiny Blink to reliably start the fights. Or a Lion Blink, but that is going to be a ways off.
Yeah. Wow, Fear really doesn't have that much right now.
Is under attack.
Yeah,
this hero really wants to snowball and scale very well. But
there's your first relocate for Rave. It's a nice takedown here top. Catching AUI out from the tower and very quickly bursting him. Meanwhile in the jungle, though, there's the stun on Cat. Follow up slow from Fear. They do get the Lion stun as he just gets right-clicked down by PPD. One more nuke will bring him down. Ryo able to TP away.
That was nice from EG. They knew the Wiz Tiny were about to relocate out.
Sumail could be in trouble. Ava, Toss, Spirits coming through the urn. He's done for. And takes another strike just to ensure the kill. Rave just maneuvering very aggressively here. Trying to catch EG away from tower. That seems to be where they're strongest.
Yeah, and more important than anything, just getting EG to spread out. Yeah. The only reason EG won that top fight was that they outnumbered them. I think if they're even numbers, even at 5-on-5, I would favor Rave right now. But if it's any sort of skirmish, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, or of course if they outnumber EG, I just don't see EG winning the fight. The only real key they have for that is probably the Tombstone. And, well, they kind of know where Undying is all the time, and they can just play around him.
Well, they're going to build towards the mech on Razor. They get the Blink on Tiny. And I really like this Blink rush a lot better. I feel like it's something they were missing a bit last game.
Hiding him for now. He's going for this kill on bottom lane. Trying to find it.
Daytime, though. Kind of tough to getting close to Sumail. Yep. Needs to come from the tree line. They're going to charge. Sumail, no turn to Shackle. He will tank that stun. Follow up, bash back, tossed up, and dead in the air. That is great movement by Rave. Now 7-4. They've got 4 of the top 5 farmers. They're really pulling ahead here on EG.
The Spirit Breaker's rich. He actually almost has a Shadow Blade minute 12.
He's more farmed than Fierce Leshrac.
Now the question is if this is Shadow Blade or
the Glimmer Cape.
A Glimmer Cape. Yeah. I think Shadow Blade's better. He doesn't have the mana to use a Glimmer Cape reliably. It's actually deceptively weak against EG's lineup. It's great against Leshrac, but that's it. Everything else is physical, more or less. Unless you want to count Soul Rip, Power Shot, perhaps, but a lot of their damage comes from boars, axes,
another
zombies.
Dunk, another kill, Rave. Man, they're braining it. But yeah, Shadow Blade combined with the Tiny Blixen, that feels like it could just... It could do what the Clinks did last game, basically, for EG.
It makes it so hard for EG to play, because they can't see the charge ganks coming and TP into react. You get hit by it, and then that hero is just instantly dead, so...
I actually think Rave are further ahead in this game than EG were when they were ahead 9-2 in the Clinks game. It just seems like EG's lineup is not tailored for skirmishes at all, and it's all they're getting. Apart from that one fight top, they're just, you can see they're moving around kind of, they don't really know what to do. They might just try to gather up and go for a smoke now, so that at least they have strength in numbers, and with the Leshrac.
Yule's
backed up, but
Ninja Boogie getting the tower. He's got his drums now if he wants them. And he's just going to walk away. They smoke in, though. EG trying to find something here. Can they get that initiation? Universe gets revealed. The pings come out. They're ready for this. Roar can't get in range. They also have the mech and the tier 1 up. They do jump forward. Well, Ninja Boogie getting caught out a little bit. Now the swap. They get him back out of position. The Wisp not available to relocate him out. They find the most valuable kill in the end for EG.
And Wind Ranger gets the bounty as well.
Lion's still not 6. It's one thing Rave have been sorely missing this game in the first 13, 14 minutes.
This is where Rave needs to be careful. This is the one good avenue of combat for EG. Get a gank on a key target and then gather up and fight with the Tombstone. If Rave get a little greedy and try to 4 and 5 here, they end up losing a lot of heroes. Looks like they might want to try. It's going to be up in 5. Yeah, this is a good time to do it.
Yeah, both teams will gain like their team fight strong here. Tombstone, very good, but you've got the mech of Jo now. Now there's a big shift to it. That Blake as he TP'd in is going to find an avatar. Now the axe is going up. Hero charge! Follow-up stun. They bring down 2. Looking for the last thrown in the air. Smacked down as he comes back to earth. What an amazing move by Ryo. And now he's going to find Sumail to retreat out. Where are you going, buddy? Nowhere fast. Rave, clean house, 4 fall. They'll get a regen root on the Wisp. And they just completely shut down EG's go there.
This Spirit Breaker, Rio is just being falling out of control.
That was a Spirit Breaker Ravage into a mini Ravage from Cast on the Lion. Oh my.
Yeah, this tower is gone. They're probably going to be looking for the tier 1 top tower next. Just go back, spend their money. Maybe pick up the 14-minute rune. I don't know if that's still there. I guess it was taken, but... This is the first game where Sumail has played off lane.
82.6%. Wow.
We're solo mid, so that means the rest were safe lane. He's played safe lane quite a few games, and I guess mainly with his Queen of Pain or Storm.
Yeah, there's been games where Fear has gone mid for the team.
Yeah. He used to go mid a lot with when they were picking Puck. And that was shortly after TI4 when he came back to the roster and replaced Mason.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Man, this does not look good for EG. As much as they were dominating game 1.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Reaver,
Radiant's middle
can we have a close game, please?
No, it could be our first 3-game series.
That's true.
Fallen.
That would be okay. There's a silver lining here, Sind, even if it is another potential stop. But
and it's funny, we actually had a close game yesterday between it was Secret and IG. That was such a close game and ended in 32 minutes. I mean, interesting stuff.
Well, this one, although Rave are very far ahead, EG, this is kind of the stage of the game where a lot of these heroes shine. You've got the max level Tombstone, Universe has Roar, has the max 4, I believe, and heroes like Leshrac, Wind Ranger have most of their key spells leveled up to the point where they do a lot of work, and Ryo gonna charge right through the Hawk and just keeps on going. They get the initial matchup PBD follow-up stun on Sumail, and he'll just tries to walk away from here. Retreating now, will he make his way back? They roar him, they commit a lot, but he gets relocated out. Now the turn, Avatar bringing down 1. And EG,
they're gonna charge back in, I think.
Unable to get anything out of that jump. They lose the Vents, they may lose more. Here comes Ryo. 2-hero shackle, well done by Sumail. The Tombstone there, they hold the line, but here comes the plasma field. Razor keeping Ryo alive, finally they get him, but it comes with a potential dunk. Doesn't finish anyone, wins the avalanche. Universe desperately threading his way through the tree line, survives for now, and the Ninja Boogie shackled up to a tree. Will go down, EG heavily outplaying Rave in this fight. They may lose Jo. No, the Wisp keeping him alive. Sumail, trapped out in the trees, is gonna scurry backwards. They even buy back the Tiny just to try and make up for it. That was just EG outplayed Rave.
Absolutely, considering how far behind they are. Getting an exchange like this.
There's your toss, though. One more auto attack with Sumail in. Can they get the auto attack? They get the earn charge. Rave, making it count. The Tiny buyback didn't really get a whole win.
You got a Wind Ranger.
Yeah.
And a
Well, now it's worth it. All right. Yeah. With that kill, Ninja Boogie makes it a very good buy.
I think as far as his personal economy goes, he would maybe be at like 8 to 8.5k net worth if he didn't buy back, but that hurts EG getting that extra couple of kills, especially the kill of Sumail. So I think the buyback worth it in the end. But
I agree.
You didn't know, like with EG, if they just completely backed off and managed to get Sumail out of there, then it would have been a big waste.
They're essentially trading a little bit of gold for map control. All this downtime for EG's heroes allows them to go and ward top rune with cast. They're free farming the top lane on the Spirit Breaker, so a little bit of gold lost for Tiny's, a little bit gold gained for the other heroes.
And this EG draft just feels like a draft that really wants to be ahead early. Getting a dying support, someone that eventually Tiny and Spirit Breaker Razor, these heroes can just go kill the Tombstone quickly, or to some extent ignore it in the fights. Wind Ranger can scale pretty damn hard with the Aghanim Scepter, but at the same time they have a lot of burst damage and lockdown for her. The Lion, the Spirit Breaker, even the Tiny with the Blink Dagger. It does look good for Rave now, but we have seen them somewhat struggle to maintain the advantage, as we saw in Game 1. Let's see if they can keep it together here.
EG are looking for a smoke gank here. Smoked up everyone else than Sumail, it looks like. It's going to be a big fight. I think it's EG's last smoke, by the way. I feel like they've been using a lot.
They've been using a lot, yeah.
This one kind of has to... Okay, they have 1.5 minutes.
Charge comes through, and Ryo kind of reveals that they do catch Jayo off the back. Stun only on one, but they think Universe trying to focus him down. Ryo not able to kill him just yet. Gets off. Oh, no urn charge. Now healed up by the Undying. Great start to the fight for EG. They brought down two. The Tiny, is he going to be able to get much done here? Kind of sitting on the boundary of the engagement as AUI limps away. Now another stun. Shackle as well. EG fight in the opening. Spraying down Ninja Boogie. It's an ultra kill for Fear. They'll clean up the creeps as well. And suddenly, he's got a bloodstone, basically. Before that fight at 2,000 gold, now another 2,000 with the point booster and the Vit booster picked up. Yikes.
That was an odd fight where Ryo's charge actually ruined the entire smoke gank, and then he canceled the charge, I think. He didn't follow through to his target. And I think had he done that, they might have been able to take a better fight there. Just initiating with a little more confidence and then perhaps following through. Like, they had a lot of options of how to play that fight, and I think they chose the worst of them. They could have relocated behind EG when they smoked from the right, so they get a positional advantage.
Rave seem very uncertain about what they want to do in a fight. They're not choosing a target to focus.
Yeah.
I think they're over-prioritizing killing the Tombstone as soon as it's cast. Like, they want to kill the Tombstone, but during that time, all the EG heroes are getting off all their spells. If they can find a hero like Leshrac, burst down Leshrac, then worry about the Tombstone, I feel.
Well, now it gets hard, because now he's got the Bloodstone, and he gets a whole lot tankier.
It just feels like Rave are very scattered in these fights, like fingering one hero, Tiny going on another, and no one getting finished off. Universe got kind of comboed by the Tiny. For one thing, he didn't die. Even if he does die, he's already used his Raw, and I feel like he should not be really a priority for Rave in any sense.
And if you don't focus, then the Soul Rip just ruins your team fight. That fight you mentioned, he got pretty low from the finger. They Soul Ripped him. He was suddenly back to full HP, and oh, Ryo is looking for something here with an aggressive charge in, but it's scouted out by the boar, seeing some creeps bashed. Still Rave as far as overall farm goes. Looks like they hold the lead, but one more bad fight and this could be back to dead even.
Yep.
If this was 6-8-3, pretty much 0 gold difference.
Yeah, pretty much.
Actually.
Yep.
They do still hold the lead, so they can't afford to make a mistake like that again, like you said. Or in a way they can, because I actually, even come super late game, I think Rave have a decent shot. Like they're not on a timer, really.
It's more, I feel like this team just...
They're not as good at playing it.
Psychologically, if they're behind against DG after the start they had, I feel it's going to be difficult for them to maintain positive outlook that they can just turtle it through the game.
And this makes it even worse. Common is such a good Aegis carrier.
Him and Storm. I think he's either tied with Storm or the second best Aegis carrier.
Because he really burns through his mana fast, and committing to kill a Leshrac gets your team, like, you take a lot of damage in turn. If he precasts his ult even before you engage, then maybe it pulses like 4 or 5 times before you bring it down. Then he has the ult, especially if he gets Edict off, which even continues during Aegis.
And matchup-wise, you're up against Tiny Wisp. They want to be up in your face. Yeah, Razor does as well. Even Spirit Breaker. A farmed Lesh, just as far as the lineups goes, very scary for Rave. That's where before they were able to combo here easily, but now it's not going to be the case. Not without a lot more items.
The Razor will have a BKB to stay alive, but it doesn't really feel like Jayo's doing that much damage in a team fight on Razor, even if he's BKB'd. Very reliant on the Tiny combo, as well as the Lion Finger, to me, is a must-use spell to burst down the hero at the start of a fight. That's where Rave are just not going to stand a chance in these like long, prolonged fights where they're not getting a pick off right away.
Yeah, you're going to see multiple shackles coming out. The Tombstone will start to really add up. The boar's going to work the whole time. Leshrac in particular is going to do heavy lifting.
Radiant's top tower
going back to the Razor pick itself, it was not a pick we were expecting, because there's no really good hero to static link. It was even before the Wind Ranger pick.
Yeah, the best hero to static link was picked before that. Boogie will get scouted out here. They want Chrissy though. They're gonna roar him, Cyclone up that Tiny, keep him out of the fight. They do get the Wisp now, looking for more. They swap and cast the fight into EG. decisive movements around the map.
Yeah.
They know exactly what they want to do, and
Now they're
finding the
Dyer's
pickups.
bottom tower is
It
under
does feel like
attack.
they've had like an infinite supply of problems.
Now they need to wait for 9 minutes. So.
And they've used the smokes to get back to even. If anything, it feels like they're maybe getting... They're the ones with a bit more momentum right now, despite the net worth and experience difference.
And Lesh can quickly... Lesh Beastmaster with Necrobook, these towers will just melt. Any gold advantage accrued from towers
Radiant's
will
middle
quickly
tower is
disappear.
under attack. Radiant structures
not? Oh,
are
now they're
fortified.
Took a little bit of extra damage on that tower, I guess.
I think it's going down either way, yeah. Do they try for anything more? There's no tier 1 bottom.
Radiant's middle
So
tower
I think more
is
likely
falling.
back off, push out these lanes, and look towards that tier 2 if you're EG.
Sumail, I feel like he just picked up that X and has 3k gold.
There was a point this game where Rave's cores were just way ahead of EG, but now it's only that tiny. Barely ahead.
5 gold.
A whopping 5 gold ahead.
Oh, relocate? They found 1 kill.
They'll take what they can get here. It is only the support Venge. Where do Rave go from here for you guys? Are they looking
Do they
to
have
just
smokes?
turbo farm? Well, I guess for now, Ninja Boogie working on the stacks.
They've got 1 in the inventory. I don't know if they have more. Okay, 1 smoke in another 4 minutes. This is a lot of gold for Ninja Boogie.
If you're Rave, do you see them just waiting out the Aegis? Do they keep on trying for pickoffs? Once that Aegis is down, are they trying to team fight EG? Because to me, it looks like EG is their best when they're team fighting.
I think you wait for the Aegis. I actually don't think they can win a fight right now against it. Because the problem is killing the Lesh, the only real tool they have for it is they either need to commit Nether Strike or Avalanche Toss, or probably both. He even has a Yule, so they need to combo it correctly. So in order to guarantee the kill, they need to commit a lot of abilities that will be on cooldown afterwards. And in the meantime, they're going to be tanking Tombstone, they're going to be tanking Necro 3 and Boars, and obviously going to get 2-man shackled because Sumail is really, like, whatever Sumail failed to do in the last game, he has really been playing for EG in this one.
That's where I feel like the Spirit Breaker has to really wreak havoc and not go for like the main target, but just charge on through, try hit as many people as possible with his stuns. He needs to be the one soaking up magic missiles, shackles, Yule scepters and all that, so that the Tiny can do what he needs to do in a fight.
I think the best thing he can do on Spirit Breaker actually is just bully the Wind Ranger out of the fight all the time. Just charge the Wind Ranger and stay on her.
The problem is, though, they have Roar. They have an answer for charge, even with this BKB.
Radiant's bottom
But then they have to roar into a BKB and maybe not get a kill, and then the roar is used. But it's not.
EG are going to force a high ground defense here with Aegis in hand.
But this is Tiny Wisp, and they're off on the split push. I don't know if EG want to get into this trade. Both teams push pretty hard.
EG suddenly realized, wait a second.
And now the pursuit's coming in. The Cow's charging bottom lane, trying to get in nice and close. And he's getting fear, just gets it. Relocate over the top. The Aegis is gone too, but he can Bloodstone deny perhaps. Yule's coming out there, and he got PPD, and no, he's stunned! Can't get off the deny. Big pick off there. They're waiting for the Wisp to come back. Well,
okay.
Goodbye, Chris.
Oh, he had a Shadow Blade.
And a Sentry. Shadow Blade wins.
I don't know about that.
I don't know if
That's
that
a
was
questionable
worth the
pickup.
investment.
Did he buy it just before he relocated back, or did he already have it? He must have just...
I think he just bought it.
They're already going to have detection for the Spirit Breaker. That seems like a questionable use of 2.8k gold now.
And the thing is, if he wanted to do that, I still think nowadays a better pickup would be a Glimmer Cape.
Right.
Sure, maybe you only get 5 seconds of invisibility, but you could probably maybe juke into the trees or get a tether or whatever.
Okay,
it's
but
such a high risk purchase. Like, it's 3k gold.
You could have...
Now you can have like the Wisp, but now you can have like the Wisp Spirit Breaker, like tethered, double Shadow Blade charging around.
That's true.
Or you could just relocate. So do you really need the Shadow?
Do you see the tether if they're both invis?
I'm not sure, actually. That's
I don't
a good
think you
question.
do. I don't think you do. The problem is the timing window. Like, if Spirit Breaker charges, you need to cast the tether as late as possible, so Wisp takes the longest possible time to catch up to him. It's really, really tricky to make. You see, now it's going to happen. Now it's going to break. So, I mean, it's cute and all, but they actually just, now they have double Shadow Blade against a team with Nick.
They are going to find Sumail. It comes the Wisp as well as the Lion. Nicely done. They get the pick off. Stun is off the mark, but so too is Fear. A double whip. Chrissy just trying to make his way out of here. He's tanking a second. Oh, can't quite.
It felt like they could fight that, but I think the Wisp accidentally left Tiny top.
No, he relocated someone else in, didn't he?
No, he by himself. He
Oh,
relocated in and then tethered the Spirit Breaker who initiated. But
so 1 for 1. It's still a good trade for Rave. They trade their position 4 for position, well, technically 3 on EG, but has the second highest farm.
Top tower
Beastmaster in this game actually is position 3 played mid, and Windring is position 2 played off. So yeah, 4 for 2 trade in terms of farm priority. Yeah. I'm not sure. How is the graph developing? I feel like, yeah, they're gaining a little bit. That's what I was going to say, but oh wow, that's a lot of experience. That's more than I thought it would be. And Lion almost level 11 now. Cast has really been playing, like, it's funny, their team has been looking really good, but he's kind of felt like he's been playing from behind, but now closing in at level 11 with the Blink Dagger, maybe a Force Staff soon to come, or a Glimmer Cape.
If you keep on saying it, someone's going to buy it.
Yeah, well,
You'll be right.
the item just is that good, it seems.
it seems like the game plan for Rave right now is just keep throwing these Shadowblade charges around and then relocate for the kills. Keep the pressure.
Or force EG to rotate, and then you just farm.
Yeah.
Either way, it's good for Rave if they can make it happen.
Gem pick up by Beastmaster, so I've got that detected.
So much for your double Shadow Blade. We'll see if we'll see how much this punishes them.
I think the third. I definitely remember that EGM Shadowblade game.
Maybe there's a bit more, just not recorded, but that is I think there's a generally if you want that mobility item, we've seen a lot more of like the Blink Dagger,
Dire's
for
bottom
example.
tower is under attack.
Well, Tiny does have an eggs. He is firmly back in terms of net worth on top. Still, though, it feels like Farm Tiny alone is going to be tough. You focus fire for him, the roar. Sure, you can relocate him out, but then you're fighting without the Tiny for quite a long time. And that's where I think for Rave, everybody has to stay relevant and continue to farm as this game moves along.
Dire's
Yeah,
bottom tower
Spirit Breaker is a
under
hero
attack.
that can actually scale decently with the right itemization. And Razor too. He's got Mech and BKB and Razor now. I think Ags is probably the next choice, and then after that, since Tiny is probably getting the Kyros, I think an item that could be nice for Rave on the Razor is actually a Shiva's Guard. Just a lot of AoE slow against all these, like against the Boars, against the Necro Book. Attack speed slow is nice in general against. It kind of evens out the Beastmaster Aura, so that one is negated. And it's not that uncommon of a pickup on Razor, actually.
Oh, this will not be expected by Sumail. He is barely outside of the base, getting deep charged, and there's a relocate coming. He's going to get caught out here. Reinforcements are nearby, but not right on top of him. Dead. No! Macabre with a turn! They save him. Now they're going to lose Chrissy. Ninja Boogie left alone. He's getting slowed up by the board. TP out. Focus fire. Can't get him in time. Ryo's going to walk away. Oh man, PPD with the big saves, and they will lose the Spear Breaker potentially. Stun comes down, X is coming through, and they bring him down with the Lesh. That was a risky play, especially that tier 2 up mid, but it could have worked for Rave if that bench wasn't ready.
And instead it's 2 deaths in a row.
And what do you know, Roche?
It's easy looking at the outcome and say Rave should have gone for that, but I'm like, that to me is like a decent play to go for.
Yeah.
You're not expecting the bench to be there right behind him, like already in position. I mean, I feel like for EG that was a bit of luck that the bench just happened to be there with the swap.
Yes, that was not what PPD was preparing for. He was actually mid.
They did not know that was coming. There's no ward on the bottom side of the map. He got charged when he was up on the high ground at his tier 3, but it was still kind of risky just because of how close they were to the tier 2.
Yeah.
Yep. Still though, Razor gets the eggs, so they are farming on these other 2 cores, and I think that's where Rave still have a very good shot as this moves towards the late game, even though there's a lot of ways to deal with Tiny. Potentially at some point you're going to see the Shivas, Refresher, and AC in the mix. We'll take a look at this one again. But yeah, there was a swap, a mech came out as well, right as he got swapped.
He tossed the Wisp, that was the other thing there. If he tossed Sumail, it's a kill.
That's a good point.
And now you can't blame it on luck anymore. That's just a misplay.
Meanwhile, Razor buys top lane. EG.
Can we get an instant replay of that too?
Are we going to be playing catch-up the rest of the day?
The rest of the game, watch it replay.
Charge on mid, onto AUI, relocate through. He dropped the tombstone already, and Shadowblade away.
Change of plans.
Yeah. I'll see you later, guys.
I mean, it's a nice regret.
This is oops. This was a big mistake getting the Shadowblade.
Mistakes were made.
Is he's actually upgrading it into Silver Edge.
So with that, you can remove the what? What is this best at dealing with? The Inner Beast, I guess. The Venjara. Does it remove the evasion when Windrunner's using Windrun?
No.
That's
a buff, not a...
It breaks passives, but does it
Radiant's
break auras?
Yeah,
That's
that's what I was going. I'm like, I know it breaks passives. Auras are passives.
I think it breaks them, but
Okay.
still,
still
even if it does, it's not like there's like a faceless void or something where
Yeah.
I just feel like that's the situation where normally you'd see a Silver Edge.
Maybe Rave's idea is we go late game, so now we'll just turn our Wisp into a core as well.
Daedalus for Chrissy next.
I mean, it's a strength hero, so actually the Sanj isn't a bad item in general.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, maybe he's actually just gonna build like say a halberd instead, and we'll just hold.
Yeah,
the
you can disassemble Silver Edge, right?
I'm not sure.
Oh wait, it has a recipe. I don't think you can. Sure, actually.
Yeah, he could just sit on the Sanj, build up a halberd, which would be great against Windranger as well.
He definitely wants to tank up in general, just try to stay alive, because he's always the focus for EG. You kill him, then you kill the Wisp.
That's true. Tiny does get an AC here.
It actually would be really funny if he's trying to build a halberd and then he picks up the Sanj and oh shit, it got a Silver Edge. But there is a recipe, so.
Well, you guys talked about it. This Ags Daedalus item or build up for Sumail, and he's got it now. This is a lot of burst versus the Wisp. And versus towers.
This time EG go for a push. There's no tiny split push to worry about, and
they're gonna try to force this one. Rave.
Oh, that's confident.
Minute and a half on Aegis.
Bold move by EG. And yeah, like you said, I think while the Aegis is up, they want to make the most of it. Cliff will be forced out. Sumail continues to work on the tower here from the low ground, and they're gonna lose a tier 3 if they don't react soon. Not wanting to initiate into this Aegis, just trying to hold the line. In the meanwhile, Shackle Shot comes out, won't connect Roar as well. Onto Cast they go, they swap Universe out. He barely survives. The Avalanche will find a PPD gonna drop as well. But everybody trying to fight from the high ground here. Now they come down onto Sumail. It's a twofer from Cast, and the follow-up's gonna come. Throw a triple for Ninja Boogie. They charge onto Sumail. They might get them all. They're dead. Aegis is there, but he's gonna be the last man standing. Another beatdown. It's an ultra kill, and they want more. TP out his third chunk. He's got him. Team wipe as EG get punished.
oh my god, they can go for Raxi. They're gonna force out buybacks.
Rave will
is
make
terrible
this
for
the
EG.
first 3-game series of the Summit 3.
Great reload. They're gonna bring it back. Yeah, they can't ditch the Tiny there. They don't know who else has buybacks at that point.
That was so big for Rave.
Tiny probably could have held his own against Beastmaster Undying, but that would be high risk. And here we go.
There's your Silver Edge. Get hyped. Daedalus is coming.
Rave are looking like they have this game at this point.
And if they win this game, and EG look at game 1 and notice they were behind early, it was more the mistakes of Rave that allowed them to easily turn that game than anything else. Do they worry about the Wisp? What a fight this was.
Notice at the end of this when Lesh dies that there's like a big B in the mid-air because he dies with Bloodstone after toss. That's what I was laughing at. It looked really fun.
The Tiny Avalanche from the high ground actually had 3 heroes. Finished off Universe, who was almost swapped to safety. Then they get the 2-hero follow-ups on the Earth Spike from the Lion. Just really, we talked about...
they don't show it.
And no, we don't. That's okay.
Boo!
But I feel like their focus fire has just been a lot better as the fights moved along. You brought it up earlier, David. They seemed a little unsure of who to go on, but now they have a very clear game plan.
Nice. I love seeing Lotus Orb. I think it's the first time it's been picked up in the tournament.
Great against a lot of these
If
heroes.
you can time this, so there's a couple of really cool interactions here. Roar, an obvious one.
Shackle.
Roar's back. Shackle Shot actually just fires it back at Windranger.
How does it work with the swap?
They stay in place.
You just did swap?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you basically don't swap positions.
That's.
Does it show the animation though, like you just like in quickly, or?
I think it makes the sound, but you don't really see them swap places, right?
Okay.
But it's also really good against Lightning Storm. It fires an entire Lightning Storm back, so you slow the entire enemy team too. It's really good.
They're gonna make the go, charge on the Sumail. EG are waiting for this, but they might not even have a chance to get out. They won't. Tombstone gets beaten down. They go Ninja Boogie, but again the Spirit Breaker moves in. Fingers there, and Jayo's on the hunt. He wants PPD. He's gonna find him. They continue pursuit. Ninja Boogie going in hot and heavy, looking for AUI. Clobbers him down too. It's 3 dead. There's the 3-hero left up. Another charge onto the old man. They go. Can they focus him in time? He does have the Bloodstone. Turns, Yule Scepter, bringing them even lower. Can't finish. finish the job. It's an unstoppable streak for Ninja Boogie. And that's 2 divebags, I believe, for EG. Universe gonna end up making a T-Boy Brave. Looking like they may force that deciding game 3 the way they're playing.
5 backs. This
Dyer's
should be
bottom
at
tower is
least
under
one
attack.
lane of racks.
You know,
Towards top, but they need creeps on the high ground.
This team has gotten a lot of flack, a lot of heat. They did not get invited directly to TI. It was Malaysia who got the nod from Southeast Asia. Rave came into this tournament just generally, honestly, not getting respected by the community. Most of the casters here, ourselves included, didn't give them a huge shot to take the series. But here they are. They're going to take 1 lane of Rex top. They may move on to mid for a second. And with that, EG are going to be up against it.
Whoopsie.
Oh, that could hurt.
He's gonna take a lot of damage from this Wind Ranger.
They can't relocate him out because of the BKB and
That's
costly death.
Yeah, that was a bit iffy.
I got a little too excited.
Yeah,
And they're going to lose the Wisp as well.
that was just like one of those.
This is where he sells the urn and buys Blink too.
And then that would be the miracle play. Okay, or just run to the north.
Oh, nice.
That is costly though. Rave getting a little excited and 2 big deaths there. Still though in a great position.
Still a losable game against a Wind Ranger, but
They have double buyback. I think if you're EG, you'd like to force that, and it looks like they will try to barrel down mid.
And we're entering epic territory. 5 seconds
Whoa.
from 40 minutes of Dota 2. Here we go.
40-minute Dota games.
Nice.
Late game.
I need like some caffeine or something. Casting 40-minute games. Come on, this is too long for me.
This takes me back to 5 days ago.
Classic Dota 2.
Yeah.
We haven't seen this in a bit.
5 days ago, exactly. Red Bull Battlegrounds finals.
Okay, they force out 1 buyback. Can they force out the second here?
The push from EG is not... the edict definitely hurts, but you don't want Fear on the front lines where he could get burst down quickly, even with the swap out.
Or even that blink toss back where then you potentially can't swap him. There's level 3 swap.
The problem is there's burst damage from an Avatos finger that the swap sometimes just doesn't come in time, even if you're ready with it and in position. The Leshrac has HP to survive it, but Wind Ranger maybe slightly less so.
I mean, for EG right now, it's very clear. They want Spear Breaker to go on them and then just destroy him immediately to start the fight. But wisely, he's not going to commit to a charge. He will just back off. We're seeing big items come out. Daedalus now the pickup for Tiny.
And still preserving his buyback.
Still, if it's only Tiny, I mean, we saw the last fight. He can be dealt with by Wind Ranger's Focus Fire, by Roar, the Boar. Rave have to be fighting as a team, and it will be double Silver Edge. They're not going to relocate onto mid and start working on the tower. Little rat Dota action coming your way. They may lose Chrissy. Shackle won't connect, though. And he does walk away. Roar, Necrobook, they need that burn, and they'll get him.
That's an 80-second respawn.
That's a dieback for the Wisp.
Oh, and look again. There's another Roche, actually.
Yeah.
Very fortunate.
I feel
for
like
EG.
this has happened. Is this the 3rd time in the game that they die right before Roshan spawns?
That was...
And that was about like the middle of the road as far as respawn.
That was just so
You don't
silly
know
to
it.
go for that play when you're ahead.
Yeah. These are the kind of desperation plays you make while you're almost
Yeah.
losing your own racks and you can't fight, but...
Yeah, I remember talking to Envy on the couch, like, what do you do in these really bad, like, behind position? He's like, oh, sometimes you just suicide push, where you just push a lane, you know you're going to die, but you force the other team to come back, you get some farm along the way, spend all your money. And he actually called it suicide pushing, and that's kind of what that reminds me of.
Well,
but
that
you
was
do it when you're
suicide, but
behind.
not a lot of pushing.
Yeah, it's not a play you want to make when you're like in a comfortable position.
Well, EG are going to press in.
20%.
No, there's no buyback available for the Wisp for 30 seconds, and they may strike right back with a lane of racks to call their own. Now Sumail blinking in, goes for the shackle the other way. Ninja Boogie will engage as well. Now the stun right from the south side. Final Lion trying to keep the backline heroes away. Chase on the AUI gets bashed back. They may lose cast as the trade. Fear will bring him down, but 2 drop. Now a chunk forward. 1 big toss for Rave, and another giant leap perhaps as they'll look to bring down Universe. Can he make his way out of here? Gets beaten down next to the big creeps. And I don't think they got Rex yet. Here will TP out. Okay. Oh, too late.
No, ever.
They needed that, but still, in the end, they hold the later frags.
Radiant's middle barracks
EG do
are
not
under
get
attack.
Roshan. And at this point, Rave should know Roche is up because it's pretty much the max possible respawn.
What's unfortunate about that, though, is that now they could have made that relocate play they just did. And they could relocate into the base and get a tier 3 tower at least. With 3 heroes on EG dead, but they went for the Lesh kill.
Yeah.
Still getting Roche is definitely good enough as well.
Seems Wepis is thinking about a moon shard here.
for old Tiny. That'd be, I mean,
definitely an item you'll want at some point for Tiny. I don't know if it's
For
the
sure.
next item.
Roshan has
Well, he's
fallen
full,
into the
right?
Raider
I guess so.
tower.
He could
Replace the
he could
blink.
sell his blink, but
That's true.
I feel like it's actually doing a lot of work for now.
Yeah, it allows you to go for those rat plays a lot more, where you can go in, hit the racks a few times with a tower, and then blink away.
That's the second highest GPM since DAC at minute 40.
Okay.
And it's only 700. I remember, was that in the TI? Was that in the TI3 compendium? There was a prediction: will the highest GPM be over or under 800? Wasn't there something like that? Mm-hmm. And there was one over, which was a time, I think. Had like a Songship got 810 or something, I believe. But it actually sounds low for me that the second highest GPM since DAC, that's like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
It's only 700 at minute 40. I mean, only. It's still super high, but
unlike you don't see 1K GPM games. That's like a pub game thing though. Like to me,
yeah, sure.
But
to
over
me,
800 is quite different from over 1,000.
Yeah, I think 800 is like as high as it really goes for competitive Dota. Apart from those really stomp games where teams are an obvious mismatch, and for whatever reason they don't GG out.
Yeah.
If there's a hero with over 800 GPM, the game should probably be GG'd earlier.
I wonder what the stat looked like if you go back like a year or so, though, because I think a lot of that may just be the rubber band, where once you're ahead, it's
so
much
too.
easier for your opponents to get to a point where you can't just keep on racking up kills. You lose that one fight, suddenly they have a lot more map control, they can actually get active and try and slow you down.
And a lot of it may be also that the heroes that farm really fast and get those ridiculous GPMs aren't really picked. Alchemist and Antimage, you don't really see that much.
And even Doom, I guess, to some
yeah,
extent.
Doom.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Tiny is pretty much the only one of those like ridiculously fast farmers that does get picked regularly.
There's going to be a charge and a very dead Hawk.
This Radiant
Have the
Ward has been
refresher on
there
Jayo.
for a long time.
Jayo has Aegis, he has refresher. This is a good time for Rave to look to siege, and they're not even going to throw the Tiny in. He's heading maybe towards top, looking for the jump. Goes on a fear off the bed, dumps low, not finished off. They get off the roars. Ninja Boogie is held in place, but Jayo is doing work on the tower. So too is Sumail, and Ninja Boogie may go down here, kept alive for now. Barely surviving, finally falls to the tombstone, but they're getting Jayo in. Relocate, coming back, they have the Aegis. They have a second life here. Finger doesn't finish Fear though. So close to getting the kill. They gotta finish the tombstone. The shackle connects on 2. The damn thing's still going the whole time. Echo Shell though will protect Jayo as they try to turn on him. Glyph forced out. They've used up their Aegis. They only got the tier 3, and I think now Rave are gonna have to back
They
off.
pull back Tiny. They want to play
That's
careful.
a really big hold for EG.
That
they
was
played into
very well done.
Aegis, they played into Refresher.
Only the 2 kills and a 1 buyback, but that is a massive swing for EG. And with the Aegis down, Rave lose a lot of momentum.
And the thing about that fight was, it was Rave that initiated. They jumped onto the Lesh, they comboed him, instant swap and instant soul rip, and he's just back to full. And that means you've committed your Tiny into the middle of the fight. He has used his combo to almost no avail. Like, he got pretty much nothing out of it apart from forcing a swap, which I guess is decent, but soul rip doesn't really matter that much. It's not that long of a cooldown. And
Tiny just feels so vulnerable to the Wind Ranger in these fights, and when he BKBs, the Wisp can't save him.
Look at it. It feels like they're sieging the base. Tiny, Ninja Boogie blinking out. They're getting impatient. That's what it seems to come down to.
But
Look how quickly the Wind Ranger kills him, though. That's where Tiny is just gonna need his teammates to do some work here for him. He can't just jump in and expect to win that fight.
He can't jump in, I feel, unless he's jumping in on the Wind Ranger and they burst down Wind Ranger. If he's jumping on the Leshrac is a bad idea. Because Wind Ranger, that means Wind Ranger is sitting back, focus firing you. Even if you kill the Leshrac and you get that burst off, Leshrac can maybe fight back. And you're likely to die to focus fire regardless. It just seems like a bad target.
Yeah, whereas if the Lesh is the one that is like hitting you, he doesn't hit nearly as hard as the Wind Ranger at this stage of the game. Not on a single target like that. Especially not a Tiny with a BKB.
I think the best target to jump is the Venge, if they can. But
it's hard. He's got level 3 swap as well now, so
he's in a good position.
He's always, the furthest back and kind of near the Wind Ranger, it seems.
But yeah, I would agree, especially at the Deso that was just picked up by this Wind Ranger. It has to be the first priority. Has the Benjar as well. I don't know if we've talked much about that.
Oh, we did mention that.
I wonder if there's some item that Tiny replaces Blink with to help stand up against Wind Ranger. Like if you consider getting something like Evasion or
Blade Mail?
Yeah, Blade Mail could be quite good.
I mean, I guess Wind Ranger would just reply with a BKB, but you could have a window where...
and
you could have a window where she can't buy a BKB.
She does not have the gold right now. That's quite a ways off.
It's actually maybe the best item for Tiny just for that single purpose, but the question is if you want to itemize for that single purpose.
Yeah.
Because it does
He's very slot challenged, and that's where maybe the Moonshard is something you consider here for Ninja Boogie as well.
He definitely will get a Moonshard no matter what at some point, but
I don't know if it's the next item though.
Well, depending when the game ends, but
yeah, if it goes long enough, we'll definitely get one at some point.
This was Rave's game. It just feels like a few really
They got the lane of racks. They could have just backed.
And the Tiny got picked off. Then they did that relocate mid. That push there, I felt like they could have pushed the tier 3 tower without initiating and taking with 0 risk. Pushing the racks is a little harder because they have to go higher into the base, but they could have just slow sieged, it felt like, with the Razor only. They don't even need the Tiny to be the one pushing and attacking.
Even in game 1, it felt like Rave had a really nice start, and they kind of gave a lot of that. It wasn't a massive lead by any means, but it was a decent lead, and they were the ones whose mistakes just allowed EG to walk right back into the game. But they are showing when they bring that A game that they can go blow for blow here.
They're not a polished team, but they're really good when they're being aggressive. Their early game is one of the best of any team in the tournament, but their mid to late game is a bit unrefined.
Well, I mean, you would think that would be fine in this tournament because most games are 25 minutes long.
Yeah.
Of course, now it's a 50-minute game, our longest by far of the Summit 3. This is tense. Woo! Closing in on 30.
Increase the average time by more than 2 minutes.
What record book are we keeping this one in? Here comes Ryo from the side. He finds Sumail to get up the finger off the map. There's the swap though. And Sumail is going to be glimmered back to safety. Now Jayo engages, pops the refresher. He's going for the double ultimate. The Echo Shell working against him, but they're not going to follow this up. And Jayo using that refresher like this EG might just want to back off and wait for a second. Wait for that first Razor ult to die down. That's both BKBs down, both ultimates down for the Razor. He's lost a lot of his fighting power now. But at the same time, they are going high ground here. It's a bit risky. EG don't want to chance it against relocate into their base. Yeah. So they say, we're up against Tiny, let's go push that top lane out.
The new items really change how fights go down, because before, like Solar Crest, before the Glimmer Cape, you would never want to have your Wind Ranger on the front lines, because you just lose one of your most important damage dealing heroes to burst damage. With Glimmer Cape, with Solar Crest, the swap as well, but I think even with, I think the swap alone maybe not enough in some situations.
And the other thing, we're going to go in right now, hold that thought, Avalanche holding on to Fear though. Sumail's gotten to sit back this whole fight. Nether Strike does find him, nicely done by Ryo to keep him back, but PPD survives for now, and Sumail's just waiting for that opening to go in. They'll bring down the line, Rave suddenly on the run, the roar under Ryo, the two-hero shackle, Jayo trapped, Ryo charges away to freedom, and he gets swapped back into the middle of EG, and Sumail's gonna finish him. Fear gets the last hit. It's 4 dead. They all have buybacks. Razor uses his immediately.
Guess we'll respawn soon after a fight Rave lost.
Oh, jeez. And they still only have that one rack.
That is a really questionable call. First of all, pushing like that without the refresher and Razor, like
that really makes the hero.
It was a really big risk for. I don't think they were threatened in any way that they had to go for that play.
If they're buying back, they better do it right now, or these racks are dead. They buy back the Wisp, but nobody else just yet. Lion will as well. Spearbreaker's still holding his. They're trying not to spend them all, but EG are going to wait for the full set of buybacks, and they'll get the racks anyway. No Spearbreaker buyback. EG just say, okay, we'll take the racks for free. We'll back off. Now, technically an even game as far as racks go, but looking very much like EG has the edge here in the fights.
There we go.
Oh god. The Octarine core of Doom. I've been wanting to see this. We talked a lot about this at Red Bull. We never saw it. This is very scary.
Yeah. It felt like an item you'd maybe get even earlier, but he popped in for like Shivers and a few other big items earlier, but...
And as we talked about, it feels like Sumail's the one you have to focus, and that allows Fear to just do so much work in these fights.
Focusing one hero is just so much more difficult. The Glimmer Cape every time is coming out, and that's where AUI's played a solid game on this Undying. He's the Soul Rip as well, the Swap. It's just a combined team effort to prevent Ray from being able to focus anyone down.
Honestly, the Swap is just ruining them. Like, they're not even roaring the Spearbreaker most fights before he initiates, but then whoever gets jumped on just gets swapped away. And Ray just don't have the follow-up. They don't have, like, that, say, Faceless Void hero that can block both heroes down and prevent a swap retreat. They get countered by it too hard.
Wants a 6-load Leshrac now.
Oh boy.
He just leaves everything on if he wants to. The cooldown on these spells gets ridiculously short as well because of the Octarine Core.
Yikes.
The issue Rave has right now is, as far as single target damage goes, you compare a hero like Razor to a hero like Windranger, where you have 2 Eyes of the Storm, which are ridiculous for damage output, but you can't target them. So how do they actually kill Leshrac now? They have a Tiny who's a spread damage late game carry. He crits for a lot, right? But
he's not attacking that much.
But he can't. It's not like a Void or like the Windranger who just really just lays into a single target and brings it down.
Or Clinks that we saw last game.
For example, yeah. So how do they approach killing this Lesh? And more importantly, there's now an Aegis on Sumail. They actually don't have a key target to initiate on reliably. This fight is, like, even without even looking at the graph, like, let's say the net worth is 10k in Rave's favor, I still think they're the underdog for this fight now. Like,
we used to look at Tiny Wisp.
Well, they're not.
Like,
okay.
First time this game, EG.
Mount Everest.
And they're going in. Fear, along with Sumail on the front lines, confident in their ability to do this push. They'll continue to lay into these buildings. They take down the tier 3, they're going to lose melee ranks momentarily. Still not going.
Watching. I mean, I don't know what the move is as far as engaging. Maybe you try and smoke and flank them from behind, but I don't think a head-on engagement works.
I don't think they have the heroes for it.
They need to like smoke and just do that kind of desperation wrap around from behind, try and focus down the Venge at the side of the fight, and then move on to someone else.
This
could be pretty good, though.
I think they made the right call sacrificing that barracks, actually.
Cool. Fear does have the Bloodstone, though. 13 charges, and does get the initial stun. Relocate's going to come in now. They'll bring down the Leshrac, it looks like. No, Yules. Bloodstone denied. Doesn't even need it. He's surviving for a while here. They blink again. The Shiva Sword. They can't kill the horse, and now the turn. Relocate back. Okay, let's get the hell out of here.
Where's the boomerang?
Ryo said, I'm going the other way. Okay, I'll see you later.
All right, Ninja Boogie, careful.
What was that? That angle. Wow.
That boomerang.
Jesus.
All right, so to explain that top fight, if they try to fight for the Rex there, the game is over, I think. They're fighting into Aegis. There's a cheese as well on one of EG's heroes. I'm not sure who has it right now. Rather, like, if they can... It's Undying. Okay, so if they can fight for the 3rd Rex after the Aegis expires, it's worth sacrificing a lane for. And EG did choose to pull back because their bottom lane was almost pushed into the tier 3, and that opens up for the relocate trades. So... It's funny to see Rave making such an aggressive play in the mid lane 3 minutes ago, where they completely overextend without having their ability.
Oh, they are going in on Sumail here. They found him off the back. PPD got blasted back a little bit, but they will survive for now. And now the beginnings are cool down. This is EG's time to make a move in. Sumail playing forward, and he is going to get the shackle on 2 follow. Jail, though, is in the middle of it all. EG going to take heavy damage to the Razor. He'll lose Sumail. He's got the Aegis. Bear's going to run. Is it EG? He's just light-killing with it now. They chuck up the Windranger. Jail continues to just pound away here. This Razor double ulti doing insane damage. Now, AUI on the run. The buyback comes out for the Windranger. They're going to lose the Undying. Tier 2 will fall. That's 3 dead with the buyback. Champion from Sumail. Charge onto Universe. Shackle finds Ryo. Maybe Rave have overextended. They're going to lose Ryo. He has the buyback. EG going again. A long range swap. That's the power of the level 3 swap. And there's no Razor refresher. Does he have the buyback? No, he's dead for 110. EG just having an extra life here.
Go for throne?
I think
they're pinging it. EG just pulled back and TP. EG did not have TPs. Tiny's going for the throne. This is actually going to be close. This is with Tiny.
Is it? He's going in. He's going to find the magic back as quickly for the enemy. Drop your blink. Drop your blink. He's going in right now. Meanwhile, the dive to the Radiant Base. They're going to work their Buster need a little more damage. EG with the Windranger. They have the glyph available on both sides, and it looks like EG is ahead for now. Strugglers are falling though. Beautiful Universe down. Universe trying to finish the jump, and it's not that close to the end. That was still a very intense game, and even Rave, they had it, man. They had it.
That was a close throne race in the end. Like, that was EG like, wait, we just bought back and TP'd in, so all their TPs were on cooldown. Definitely a moment of panic for them when you have a Wisp Tiny in your base and you still have to go through tier 4 towers and throne.
Disappointing way for Rave to go out.